Hello and welcome to a special presentation from Main Event Boxing. I'm Ben Damon, and today we can announce the next step in the professional boxing journey of undefeated Australian heavyweight champion Justis Huni. On the 4th of February next year, a Friday, from the Brisbane Convention and Exhibition Centre and live, of course, on Main Event Television, Justis Huni will fight against fellow former World Championship medalist and undefeated heavyweight boxer Joseph Goodall. Goodall, originally from Brisbane, is now trained in Las Vegas by renowned Kiwi coach Kevin Barry, who's best known for his work with Joseph Parker and David Tua. And Goodall comes into this fight full of confidence of upsetting Justis Huni and becoming the face of Australian heavyweight boxing. To repeat the details, Friday, the 4th of February next year in Brisbane, and live on Main Event, we'll see Justis Huni against Joseph Goodall at heavyweight. Now, this is an event being put on by D&L Events, and of course, Dean Lonergan runs the operation there, and he joins me now. Dean, I want to start by asking why Joseph Goodall is the right opponent at this stage of Justis Huni's career, coming off that operation on his hand, the disappointment of the Olympics and everything that has happened through the course of this and last year.
I've got to be honest, it's probably a bit tougher opponent than what I would have liked. And the reason is simple: is that Joe was available, Joe Goodall, and it's a fight that we'd like. But Justis, as you know, is coming off an injury, and Joseph Goodall right now is without doubt in the best shape of his entire life, and he's been training, I think, for some time now with Kevin Barry, who I've got enormous respect for as one of the best heavyweight trainers in the world. He did an amazing job with David Tua and Joseph Parker. They won the world heavyweight title when we were working with him together, and we beat Andy Ruiz for the world heavyweight title. And the zenith of that particular journey was fighting Anthony Joshua up at Cardiff Arms Park in front of 75,000 people, I think it was. So it's probably a bit harder than what I would have liked, but Justis Huni and Rocky Huni will take on anyone we put in front of them. They just want to accelerate the journey. They're very excited to be coming back. And of course, this is going to be for the WBO Oriental and also the IBF Pan Pacific regional titles. Now, this is significant, because the winner of this fight, I would expect, when we win those titles, and because of both their respective records as amateurs and also as pros, expecting to go in the top 15 in the world of both organisations. Now, that is significant because the second you get to the top 15 of any organisation, you're eligible to fight for the world heavyweight title or the world title of whichever weight class you're in. So it's a very, very significant fight. We've got a full 7 fights planned for Justis this year coming up. It's an absolutely massive year. I've never had a boxer who wanted to fight that often. I think with Jeff Horn, we had 3 or 4 fights a year on a regular basis. With Joe Parker was 5. But to go to 7 fights in 1 year is quite incredible. Now, we're not going to be able to keep that up in year 2, because as we go down the track, these fights get harder and harder and harder. But at the end of the day, we have to win every fight as we go. So that's on Justis. Rocky and him just won hard fights, and we've got the 2 best heavyweights in Australia by far going up against each other. They're both credentialed amateurs, and now they're both credentialed professionals. And, mate, this is just going to be one hell of a fight.
Yeah, he was an outstanding amateur, Joseph Goodall, as well as Justis Huni. What are you expecting in terms of the look of this fight with these 2 big men who are good boxers as well?
Well, I think you'll find that Joseph Goodall has made the transition to the heavyweights from amateurs into the pro ranks probably a lot quicker, or he's been doing it for quite some time now. So Justis is still making that transition, and of course Justis has given up on the Commonwealth Games thoughts that he was having. So he's just going to be, sitting down on his punches a lot more. I would expect this is going to be a war, and these guys know each other obviously from days gone by. And whenever you get 2 locals, up against each other, right, there's a hell of a lot of feelings going to be in there. So I expect an incredibly physical fight. I expect a fight in a perfect world. It'll go Justis Huni's way, and it won't go the distance. But I know for a fact that Joe Goodall's got one of the world's best trainers in his corner. He's eating properly. He's training properly. He's sparring right now with the likes of Jared Anderson, which is one of the best up-and-comers in America in the heavyweight division. Efa Agabi, who he beat for a silver medal in the Commonwealth Games, and who was number 8, I think, on the last Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder card. He's been sparring with him. So, mate, this is a well-prepared, best example of Joe Goodall we've seen, and it's going to be one hell of a tough fight.
Any concern with the confidence that the opponents are showing? I know you've been in touch with Kevin Barry. He's always confident, but especially so for this fight. And Joseph Goodall, with that new preparation that he's had, and his manager Steve Scanlon as well, they're talking a very, very big game. Does that put you off at all?
No, not at all. Like I'm obviously wary because Kevin's so good, and I know Joseph Goodall can really fight. But I'll be honest with you, I think it's a fight that Kevin Barry would much prefer happen later on down the road. And Steve Scanlon and Joe themselves were very, very keen for this fight. Kevin can be protective of his fighters, especially in the early, and that's his job. But Kevin's also a very, very expensive beast to run, and they've always needed some decent money. So this is a good payday for this part of his career for Joe Goodall, which is why I think Steve Scanlon and Joseph have wanted to take this thing, and of course they think they can win the fight.
Yeah, it's a massive fight to start the year for you as well in 2022, Dean. A big year ahead.
It's going to be massive, like we're still working on a number of big fights, and hopefully at some stage we'll be able to announce, that we've got the Maris Breeders versus Jaya Pattaya fight coming to Australia. Still working on that. And obviously Isaac Hardman is coming through. It's going to be a huge year for my entire stable. And then, obviously for Justis Huni with 7 fights in 1 year, I don't know that anyone is going to have that sort of activity in Australia, particularly a heavyweight at the levels that he wants to fight at.
Okay, thanks very much, Dean Lonergan, and we look forward very much to February the 4th.
Thank you, mate.
Well, time now to head to Las Vegas and talk to trainer Kevin Barry. And Kevin, thanks so much for joining me. I wanted to start by asking you, we've seen Joseph Goodall for a number of years. What have you seen in him in the time he's been training with you?
Well, mate, he's been with me now for 5 months, and it's been a pretty solid 5 months. We realised early that we had a bit of rapport going. I saw the talent in Joe, and I was excited by that. And we've just been going about our work. Steve Scanlon, his manager, who brought him to me, Steve said, "Look, you're going to really like this guy. He can fight a lot." And so, mate, I realised early that I did like him, that he had a lot of talent. And we've just been working together. I've been introducing my style of training to Joe. He has adapted to it very, very well. And of course, the cherry on the top for us is, we thought, okay, initially Steve wanted me to look for a couple of fights over here in the US for Joe and to start a campaign here. But this Justis Huni fight that came along is something very, very exciting, and something that we're pretty hyped up about.
What makes you so confident that he is ready for a fight against Justis Huni, someone that you will have seen for a number of years? Joe Goodall obviously is in an improvement phase with you. Is he ready for this fight?
Well, when you say an improvement stage, let me tell you this. Look, both these guys have a lot of similarities. They were both probably the 2 most successful amateur heavyweights in Australian boxing history. They know each other well. They both won bronze medals at the World Championships. So, when you say that Joe's in a development stage, we're talking about a guy who has a very high pedigree, a very good boxing IQ, and somebody who was just waiting for the opportunity to take his game to another level.
Tell us what happens in this fight on the 4th of February, Kevin.
Oh, mate. This fight is a very, very good fight between 2 very good fighters. I think that Justis Huni, he's still developing. We don't know how good this young man is going to be. He's definitely started with a hiss and a roar, but I can promise you that on February 4, we're going to have a very well-prepared Joseph Goodall looking across the ring at Justis Huni, wanting to take everything that he's achieved in the last couple of years.
All right, Kevin, thanks so much for your time. Good luck with the rest of the training camp, and we look forward to seeing you in Australia.
All right, mate. Thanks, man.
And now to the challenger in this fight. He is undefeated as a professional boxer. 8 fights so far, 6 stoppage victories. Was an outstanding amateur as well. And he joins us now from Las Vegas. Joseph Goodall, thanks so much, mate. This is a huge opportunity for you. What makes you feel that you're ready for a fight with Justis Huni?
Yeah, thanks, Ben. This fight's probably been, ever since Justis turned pro, it's probably been a long time coming. I feel like he's had a couple of good wins in the professionals. He's won the Australian title he's done well. He's been the distance twice in the pros. I think it's time for us to clash. I've had 7 fights in the pros now, and I'm 29. He's only 22. We're on kind of different timelines in our careers, but we're the 2 best in Australia. And there's no second place in boxing, so let's find out.
You always look good, but you look especially good at the moment, mate. I've been seeing some of your training footage. You look like you've been working especially hard. Can you put it into some words for us, how different your preparation has been ahead of this fight and how you're feeling physically?
Yeah, been training 3 times a day, 6 days a week, basically. I go for long runs in the morning. The main difference I feel is the professionalism over here. Just everyone's attitude's a lot more kind of like a winner's attitude in a way. Everything's on time, everything's clicking over type of thing. And the sparring is, there's a lot more experienced boys over here. And no offense to back home, but I've had all the sparring there. I've been around the block there and had all the sparring. The sparring's Justis getting right now. I've had that sparring before. So, over here it's I feel it's a high level of sparring, and iron sharpens iron, and it's getting me razor sharp for this fight.
Joe, do I detect just a little bit of an American accent creeping in?
Most people in Australia, most of my friends even used to say I have an American accent back home. So
I see you went over there with it.
Some people even in America say, "Oh, are you American?" I don't know. I think it's too much YouTube videos.
Yeah, maybe. You're having a good time over there. Is this what you needed for your career?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's, everything has to, has the start, has the journey, has the climax, and then comes to an end. Everything in life. So, I think my time at Stretton was it was good. I was very successful and everything, but in the end, it's got a bit too stale for me. And I think just switching up, faces in the gym, a different venue to train in, all these different things. I think it's even different training methods and all this type of thing. I think these things in just in general for mental health is very underrated.
You talked about the journey that you're on. Where does a victory against Justis Huni take that journey for you, Joe?
Yeah, a victory here is everything. Like this is a big fight. Like this is a serious fight. It's a proper boxing fight. This is not a footy player versus this guy, or just a popular fight. I think this is the best proper Australian heavyweight boxing fight in history, in my eyes at least, skill-wise. With the 2 amateur backgrounds we have, I can't think of another fight, a heavyweight fight that competes with this. So a victory, this is a big fight, and a victory here is everything. Like this is for everything. All the gold in Australian boxing. This is to be the face of Australian boxing. There's 3 belts on the line. This is a massive fight. Like you got 3 potential top 15 rankings on the line. Like this boosts you up in the top 15 in 3 sanctioning bodies. You're on a short track to a world title. So this is everything.
Yeah, this is a huge fight. How do you win it, Joe?
Yeah, everybody knows. Like I've had 7 fights, 5 by knockout in the first round, and another one in the second round. So I come to fight, So, he's gonna have to, he's gonna be in a fight like that, like never before. Like he's done well in the professionals, and he's gone the distance. With Soy and Gallen, these types of people, but someone like Paul Gallen isn't going the distance with me. Isn't going near, no way, 10 rounds with me. So, I feel, I come to fight. I'll come to stop every opponent, and I'll be coming to take him out too. So that's the way I see it.
Yeah, we believe you will. Thanks so much, Joe Goodall. Enjoy the rest of your preparations. We can't wait to see you back home, and we can't wait for this big fight, mate.
No worries. Thank you, Ben. And lastly, if I could thank all my team and my sponsors, starting with Steve Scanlon, technology people, Hannay Lawyers, IBC Recruitment, Team Barry, and all the Team Barry. If it wasn't for all these guys, I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't have this opportunity. So I just want to thank my team for this.
Thanks so much, Joe. And now we head to Brisbane with the Australian heavyweight champion, Justis Huni, who has, well, been off the radar for a little bit, but it's good to see you back, Justis.
Hey, Ben, yeah, it's good to be back. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
After the disappointment of missing out on the Olympic Games, your hand surgery, and then our condolences as well with the loss of your grandfather, it was a pretty difficult period for you, I would imagine. How did you cope with all of that?
Mate, just family. My family helped me out a lot. Family and close friends. So, yeah, I got through that, and yeah, like I said, I'm back now, and I'm looking forward to getting back into the ring early next year.
An exciting fight too. Joseph Goodall would be someone that you know a lot about, given that your paths have overlapped. You've sparred a lot. He won a world championship medal as well. What do you know of Joseph Goodall?
Mate, we know each other very well. We've helped each other out a lot, in sparring and stuff. So, yeah, it's gonna be a very good, interesting bout between us. I think we're bound to clash somewhere along the line in the professional ranks. So, yeah, what better time to do it than early next year? Get it done, and yeah. Like Joe said, it's definitely the best of the best in Australia, I believe, going against each other. So, yeah, it's going to be an awesome showdown.
As you said, you've intersected a number of times. What do you think has taken place through all of that that's given Joe so much confidence that he wins a fight against you? I'm
not sure. I think, just preparation is key. I'm going to be ready and peaked to go come February the 4th. So yeah, look, I've got the same confidence on my end as well. So, like I said, it's going to be a hell of a show, and there's going to be fireworks, and we're in the heavyweight division, so there's going to be a lot of bombs dropped, and possible for someone to get stopped and possibly knocked out.
Who do you think's a better boxer in this fight, and who's a bigger puncher?
No, honestly, I gotta back myself. I honestly believe I'm the better boxer. All respect to Joe, but yeah, I believe I'm the better boxer, and I'll be the better boxer on the night.
And the bigger puncher?
The bigger puncher, man. Honestly, if you go back and watch all the rounds that we've done, which I think only my team and his team have the footage of that. I think we're about even. It's the heavyweights. We're just we're about even. But like he said, we're coming to take each other's heads off. I got heaps of respect for Joe, but in the ring I lose it all, and I'm going to be coming out there to put on a show for all of the fans, and yeah, it's going to be awesome.
In all of the professional bouts you've had so far, you've had one eye on the Olympic Games and being an amateur boxer. What difference should we expect in Justis Huni that we see as a pro now that the amateur life is behind you?
Yeah, man, that was the main reason for me turning full professional now, was just to focus on what's ahead of me. Honestly, I was only holding on to the amateurs for the Olympics, and I had to withdraw from it. So, yeah, going forward, I'm 100% focused on the pros, and man, I think it's just better. I don't have to worry about, you know, turning back and going back to changing my style, going back to 3-minute rounds. It'll just be, you know, for me, it's from the start, it's been 10 threes, and I've gone 10 threes, except for one fight, I've gone 10 threes every other fight. So that's what we'll be preparing for, you know. I think it was the right decision by myself to commit myself fully to the pros, just with moving forward. And like I said, this fight that I got coming up against Joe Goodall is definitely a big one, with three belts on the line, and can secure a place in the top 15. And so, you know, it's going to be a big fight, and I'm going to leave it all out there. I'm going to be 110% prepared, and you know, I just can't wait.
So do you think this translates to you sitting down on your punches more and throwing with more power? Should we be expecting that going forward?
To me, like, the power for me is not really like, I'm not going in the ring like focusing on power. To me, it's more just like boxing, and you know, if the big punch comes and you know, I got him rocked or something, it'll come. But I'm not going out there to, you know, like put all my energy into, you know, going out there to stop him in one round. I've been training a long time, and I didn't just train to, you know, go out there and get a knockout in the first round. I've trained my whole life to, you know, box, sit back, and just let the fight play out how it's supposed to play out, and how we've visualized it to go. So, you know, I think I've said this before in a lot of my other, probably every single one of my professional bouts, that I'm not going out there to look for the knockout. You know, if it comes, it comes, and that's how it's been going, and it's been going good. So, yeah, it's all about being patient and boxing the fight out, and yeah, sticking to the game plan.
A lot on the line here, as you mentioned, those belts and potential world rankings as well. It feels like the natural next step for either of you at heavyweight.
Yeah, 100%. Especially in Australia, man. This is a big fight for heavyweight boxing in Australia between the two of us. We both got very good amateur careers. You know, we both represented Australia at the top. Both bronze medalists at World Championships. He's a silver medalist at a Commons Games. So, you know, I think this is the perfect fight to take. And honestly, it's probably my hardest fight to date in the professional ranks. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, and it's going to be a good challenge for myself.
Yeah, it's a tough fight. It's an outstanding fight. What happens on February 4, Justis?
Look, like I said, I'm just going to go out there, stick to the game plan. I'm not going to go in, you know, using all my energy up for a knockout, looking for it. If it comes, it'll come. But yeah, I honestly believe I'm just going to outbox Joe on the night, and it's going to be a good showdown.
Well, we can't wait for it. Thanks so much for your time, Justis. Talk to you soon.
Cheers, Ben. Talk soon.
So those are the details, and those are the fighters. We're going to see Justis Huni against Joseph Goodall at heavyweight, the 4th of February, live on Main Event. I'm Ben Damon. I'll see you at the fights.